Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to AdriRaven and Exsellsior. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker, as we officially wrap things up in the Southern Gnarl Marches. We've cleared out the Dwarven Fortress, we lifted the curse at the Swamp Witch's hut, and we saved the Lizard Folk village. Kind of. So, at this point, all we've got left is to search the surrounding area, and then we can head back towards Stagsfall. Let's get to it.
All according to plan.
Yeah, looks like we've still got a bit of ground to cover here.
In due time.
Venom Hodag. Pretty tough, but nothing we haven't faced before. I think we can save the spells. Cloak of Shadows. Nice. Though, I believe Lindsay already has one. Still, nice to have a spare. Ah, giant frogs. Well, that's a pretty trivial encounter.
Focus on the goal.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Yeah, that seems about right. Those things were tough back when we were level 3 or 4, but at this point, they're really just cannon fodder.
That is not far.
Map's a little more compact than I thought it was. Oh.
As it should be.
+2 darts. Interesting. I don't really remember them having much in the way of magic throwing weapons before. Must have been added for the complete edition. Let's speed this up. That was probably overkill, but we've got bombs to spare.
In due time. All according to plan.
Okay, I think we're done here. Let's head back. Back to Stagsfall. You know what? Let's head east. We can fill in a few gaps on the way back. It's about the same distance anyway. Well, that wasn't very eventful, but I guess that's fine. Now, let's see here. Oh, there we go. As soon as the peasant woman sees you, she falls to her knees, trying to kiss your hand. "Oh, your grace! Our deliverer! You saved him! You rescued my little one! What would we ever do without you? Every day until the day I die, I shall pray to all the gods for your health." You are quite welcome. Just try not to lose him again. Well, that's not what we expected when we went looking for that missing kid. But that's what the stolen lands are like. Take a step past your fence, and you're likely to meet lizard folk, evil spirits, or gods know what else. A paradise for adventurers, sure. But why do normal people still live here? That is an excellent question, Lindsay. Anyway, let's see if we can pick up some new rumors here. Elena makes a curtsy, like a lady in waiting. "Welcome, your grace." What's the news around here? The best fish get brought in from Silverstep Lake, but there's been trouble out there. They saw a strange boat on the lake, and the bandits are fooling around again. Intriguing. Sounds like Silverstep Lake is our next stop. Thank you very much, Elena. Okay, since we're already here, we might as well go have a chat with Jaethal. Haven't really talked to her since we killed all those elves. Jaethal greets you with a nod. Speak. "I want to speak with you about what happened at the elven camp." Of course, it was an interesting experience. You don't say. It seems to me the experience changed you. Yes, that's true. It's strange I do not think more about who might have killed me. I should crave revenge, but I do not. Time and again, I remember the moment when the power of my gift brought that young elf back from the dead. It was exciting. For the second time in my life, I felt her divine presence, and the power of my gift, power itself. Isn't unlife a wonderful blessing? By my own will, I can wrest someone's beauty out of time and into eternity to preserve them in this world forever. Okay. Not sure I like where this is going, but... I don't know, but your power does intrigue me. It intrigues me as well. Sometimes it feels like two forces are fighting inside of me. One is my logical side, which strives to understand my gift, to evaluate and calculate the consequences and limits of its potential. The other is deep and hidden. It laughs at the first and urges me to simply enjoy the power I've been given, to breathe it in. Which side will win? Someday, we may find out. Before you raised that elf woman as undead, you said that she looked like Nordalara. Who is that? Ah, that is my daughter. Did I mention her earlier? I should say the resemblance turned out to be superficial. Norta would not have reacted so cowardly if she rose as undead. I was a good enough teacher to raise her strong, restrained, sensible, and able to evaluate her situation before acting. She would have weighed everything thoughtfully, rather than immediately pleading for death. Sure, she sounds like quite a girl. Certainly. Thank you, Jathal. That was about as horrifying as I expected it to be. Moving on. Asif? The man bows to you, spreading his arms a little. Asif from Absalom is happy to welcome you, Your Grace. Come, take a look at the best wares we traveling merchants have to offer. Please, come, take a look. A Vudrani asked me to give you this letter. She claimed that your families know each other. As soon as you finish speaking, Asif snatches the letter from your hands and immediately breaks the seal, quickly running his eyes along the lines. His face grows pale, his hands clench. He takes his time ripping the letter into tiny pieces, enjoying the process. Damn that disgusting wretch and that entire family! They decide to send me a letter, as though I don't know that only poison trickles from their mouths. Okay then. After calming down a bit, Asif turns to you. You probably did not know what was in the letter. All the better. You shouldn't burden yourself with a feud between families, living on opposite sides of the world. You did your part, and I am grateful to you, at least for caring to deliver this letter to me, though it was written by traitors. Your intentions were pure, of that I am certain. You know, maybe it's about time we learned a little more about Asif. Tell me about yourself. My pleasure, Your Grace. The merchant smooths his mustache and commences his story with an air of importance, speaking in a sonorous voice, gesturing widely. Asif's family was not rich, and he, as many in Absalom, had to start from the very bottom. As a child, while his peers chased pigeons and stole apples at the market, he worked at a tannery. Oh, I can still smell this disgusting stench. The man pulls out a heavily perfumed handkerchief and waves it in the air. Ahem. Well, the young apprentice worked hard, saved every coin, and soon managed to purchase that tannery from his former master. Then, as soon as he had enough money, he opened his own trading agency. After 10 years, countless deals, and many tours in his caravan, Hassif was one of the most successful merchants in Absalom, thus writing his name indelibly in the history of the great city. The merchant looks at you with pleasure. Well, how was that? I'm looking for a writer so I can dictate my memoirs, haha. I think many would find it interesting and useful to learn more about me. What is the secret of your success, Hassif? There's no secret. Perseverance, strength of character, attention to detail, the gift of persuasion, charm. All this, among many other things, are key to success in my profession. But if I did have a secret, who would I be to share it with anyone? The merchant laughs merrily, his hands rubbing his sides. Gosh, thanks. Why did you leave Absalom, the center of global trade, for some young barony in the Stolen Lands? This is a long story. I don't think your grace would be interested. Come. Tell me why you left Absalom. I insist. The merchant groans theatrically. Very well, as you wish, your grace. It was about a woman. When I was still young, I fell in love with the daughter of a judge, an important person in Absalom. For many years I tried to win her heart, but she was cold as stone. I should have given up, but this is not in my character. In the end, I did manage to win her love, but I was unready for it. Hassif swallows and rubs the back of his head. As Sabadar as my witness, the flames of hell burned inside this woman. I could not live with her for even 6 months. Tenderness and passion one day, screaming and scandal the next. Sometimes she would break into my office during business meetings to make a jealous scene, and sometimes pulled me by my collar from the finest taverns in town. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous all the time, and it started to affect my business. I realized there was nothing else to do but run. Leaving her and remaining in the city would be impossible, even in such a city as Absalom. I decided never to return, and I still fear that wildcat of a woman will follow my trail. Hassif stops talking and stares into space without blinking. Although, sometimes, after a couple of jars of wine, I still remember her. Perhaps it was I who unleashed this tornado inside of her. If somehow I'd behaved differently. Thank you, Hassif. I guess that answers my questions. Sorry. Let's grab that quest item and we'll get out of his hair. Not seeing that armor piece. Maybe one of the other merchants has it. Ah, there we go. Onslaught's Jamberts. One step closer to having all 3. Alright, we're about to head back out, probably towards Lake Silverstep. But first, we've got some bookkeeping to take care of. Let's hit the pause button, I'll manage our inventory, get some rest, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We're almost ready to head out. We've just got some kingdom management we have to take care of first. Every little bit helps. Triumph. The advisor was able to determine where the fortifications were most needed. The subjects agreed on the wisdom of the decision. The people collected money for a palisade and delivered the funds to the treasury. Nicely done, Cecil. A new phase of life in your capital. Your capital is now a lively town. Very nice. Let's see what else we've got here. A new research project. This time into Jenna Tannerson. That's interesting. That's the mother of that kid we rescued. And I guess that's it. Well, we've got Tristan freed up, so let's get him on Testimony of Loyalty. Can't say I like those odds, but that's fine. We're not going to waste a crisis point on something like this. We are pretty low on building points, but we did pick up about 20,000 gold on our last outing. That is enough for 250 building points. We'll have a quick flip through our projects. Strength in numbers. Gives the general a +1 bonus for taking advantage of an opportunity. Yeah, let's go with that one. Union with Restov. The peaceful solution to Oleg's tax crisis laid the groundwork for future improved relations with Restov. We should take advantage of the situation. Cheap, simple, and a pretty nice bonus to our current relations score. Yeah, we'll go with that one too. Not much else we can afford here, so we'll just dump the rest of the points into Stagsfall. Oh yeah, we've got plenty of new room to work with. But we are still relatively short on building points, so... I think we'll go with the Mage's Tower first. It's expensive, but it will give us a +7 to our Arcane, as long as we put it in that remote space next to the river. As an added bonus, it'll also establish our first teleport circle. You know what? Let's rearrange our buildings here. Yeah, if we put the barracks here, then we can eventually build a jail next to it. Or maybe a fortress. I guess we should put in a hospital too. We can afford it, and that is a +1 bonus to 2 of our advisors. And that is our 250 building points. Moving on. Alright, now I am tempted to head for Olaf's trading post. That way we could grab the last piece of the Onslaught set. but it is pretty far out of our way. You know what? We'll just head east instead. We've already done enough bookkeeping for one episode. Time for adventure. Lover's Grave. A bit grim, but sure, why not? Lonely Barrow. For ages, this mysterious burial ground has been hidden, left untouched. But a recent landslide has revealed the entrance to the underground complex. In fact, someone has already entered the barrow. The massive door that once barred access has been left ajar, and the darkness beyond smells damp and cool. Now that is tempting. But we are right around the corner from Lake Silverstep Village. We'll hit the village first. We can hit the barrow on the way back. Ancient mine. Well, again, we will add that to the checklist for our trip back. Whoop. Lake Silverstep Village. This small fishing village sits snugly on the shore of Lake Silverstep. The most noticeable landmark nearby is a big cliff that rises over the lake, the location's highest point. The local villagers live off the fish in the lake, but these accommodations often lead to conflict. The local Nixies have taken a fancy to the picturesque countryside, and they don't think very highly of their noisy neighbors. Which warns us that we may be up against charm magic here. Not sure we've actually got a defense against that. Oh, wow, that is a fairly sizable map. This might take a while, so let's get ourselves set up here. Let's add a couple of defensive spells. Can't be too careful here.
Ready for anything.
Okay, let's have a look around. This road goes right off a cliff. Sure, why not? Oh, shit. Okay, I guess we're fighting now. Oh, wow, we've already got our first Nixie.
Tear them apart!
Hold on. Half the party seems to be non-responsive. Confusion spell. That would certainly explain it. It does look like we've still got our casters, so I think we can still do this. She's invisible, so first thing we need to do is glitter dust. There we go. Okay, now we can hit her with auto-hit spells. That should make short work of her. No damage on the magic missiles. She might have a shield spell. That was annoying. Oh, good. Looks like it'll continue being annoying for 9 more seconds. Harem, please stop. Done? Good. Moving on. The corpse of a tall man lies torn apart on the shore. The man was probably an experienced fighter in life, but it didn't do him much good in the end. You notice a tuft of red fur clutched in the dead man's hand. Whoever killed this man, it seems unlikely it was a Tatzelwyrm. Interesting. Talon of the Wise. The Kama utters a high-pitched scream when swung. It is as sharp as the weapon's edge. +2 Agile Kama. Well, that certainly sounds useful, if we had a monk. On the bright side, that's also basically 50 building points. Ah, right, and we've got all these corpses to loot too. Well, let's see what else we've got out here.
All according to plan.
Applause, please.
Don't mind me, just cheesing an extra 45 experience points. Ah, looks like we've discovered Silverstep proper. Let's have a look. My goat is such a dog. He puts the moves on the headman's mare. What?
In due time.
The miller is like this, the smith is like this, but the headman isn't like this. Though he can be like this if he does like that. What? Where am I? You know what? We're not talking to any more villagers. Clearly, there must be something in the water. Fishing tackle is neatly packed and dry. It obviously hasn't been used recently. Seems a little odd for a fishing village.
Anything else?
Ooh, grilled silver eel. Let's add that to the lexicon. Lindsay, you didn't tell me you had a twin. Always put a broom in a conspicuous place. Everyone will think that you are so busy. You know what? That's my fault. These fishing boats have seen better days. Looks like no one took them out on the lake today. Starting to notice a bit of a trend here. The villagers have all gone crazy, and no one is actually fishing in this fishing village. Let's try this again. We'll hedge our bets this time. Welcome to Brevis's roadside shop. Judging from his accent and his fine clothes, this trader isn't from around here. What's causing all the fuss around here? You mean those fish jumping ashore? The trader frowns. These fools believe it's thanks to their patron, the Silver Dragon. He supposedly decided to provide the villagers with a feast and sent them this gift. Idiots. I don't know the real reason those fish are jumping, but if it were me, I wouldn't get too close to those fish or that lake. Who is in charge of this village? The trader smirks. Ivar, he's a resourceful one to be sure. Made the whole area believe he's some chosen one, the spokesman for the Silver Dragon. The idiots around here listen to everything he says and do whatever he asks. It's strange, though. After this Ivar fellow came to the village with his sack of silver scales and his ridiculous stories about the Silver Dragon, things in the area started to change. There was this wolf pack, used to cut through the local cattle like a housewife cuts through vegetables. After Ivar got here, the wolves won't even come close to the local cows. Same with the monsters in the woods. They don't take step one toward the village or its people. It's all pretty strange if you ask me. Very strange indeed. On that, we can agree. I'm surprised to see a trader in such a remote place. I usually buy hides from the local hunters, but sometimes they come up with some rather intriguing trophies. No wonder, though, considering the number of different beasts living in these woods. Really now. These wares don't look like hunting trophies. They remind me more of some robber's loot. The trader's face goes blank. I'm sure I have no idea what you mean, Your Grace. This is all pretty standard trade around these parts. You know, totally unrelated. I just realized I haven't had an opportunity before to offer a donation to help support our barony. Gosh, how convenient. Why don't you start with where you acquired these goods of yours? The trader glances at you suspiciously. All right. There's a cave to the north. Some less than law-abiding fellows have taken up residence there. If we're being uncharitable, you could call them bandits. I sell things they've collected, but I never robbed anyone myself. You've my word of honor on that. Well, he does seem the trustworthy sort. Now you're trying to bribe me? If you ever even think of going back to your old ways, you'll find yourself in some real trouble. Sure, yes, of course. The trader's voice rings with enthusiasm. Interesting. Not seeing much we can actually use here. But at least it's a good place to sell off vendor trash.
Applause, please.
Ooh, I think we can actually use that. Very nice. Tristian's still basically made of tissue paper, but every little bit helps. Really need to use wands more often. I equip them, I just forget we have them. Cecil. A ruddy-faced villager waves to you cheerfully. Hello there, traveler. A good day to you. A good day to us all. The Silver Dragon himself turned the day into a feast for us. And why, you might ask? All because I forgot my fishing gloves at home. Who are you? I'm Cecil, a fisherman. I mean, I was a fisherman when I did fishing. I don't fish now, so I guess I'm not a fisherman anymore. Cecil frowns as he thinks about that paradox. Dragon? Feast? What's going on here? I'm telling you, I went fishing, but I left my fishing gloves at home. So I blistered my hands pulling out the nets. So I couldn't fish anymore. So I had to go hungry. Had to, but didn't, because fish just started jumping out of the water. So our great silver dragon took care of me. He must have been watching, thinking, how will this poor sod Cecil get by with blistered hands? How will he fish? What will he eat? How about I send some fish ashore for him? Now I think I'll never bring my fishing gloves again. So fish will always jump out of the lake on their own. It'll be great. Tell me more about your fish situation. Just go to the shore and see for yourself. They jump right out of the water. We can barely keep up with collecting and salting them. We made 3 barrels since the morning dawned, and our barrels are really big, not just any normal barrels. The fisher puffs out his chest. And tell me more about this dragon of yours. He's a huge dragon. A silver one. That's why he's called the Silver Dragon. He's very kind and always helps us. That lake is one of his footprints filled with water. That's how we got the lake. I've got one of his scales. It's my lucky charm. The fisher proudly holds out a scale held by a string around his neck. Ivar gave it to me. You can search around for him. Maybe he'll give you one too. Dragons that huge don't exist. Maybe not. In other places. Maybe our dragon is one of a kind. The fisher's voice rings with pride. Okay, have you ever seen this dragon? With your own eyes? Sure did. Day before yesterday. 2 months ago, too. Burvis the trader says I'm a fool and it was just a thundercloud, but you shouldn't listen to him. Right. So, what exactly has this dragon done to help you? He sent Ivar to us. Well, not sent, really. Ivar was here before, but he was only a hunter, not a dragon's voice. When Ivar became the dragon's voice, everything got better all at once. Most of the bandits disappeared from the roads, monsters stopped attacking us in the woods, and wolves don't even take our cattle anymore. And now there's the fish to top it all. Yeah, the Silver Dragon is the best dragon ever. Enough about that for now. What a downer. I like listening to stories about the dragon. Let's talk about this hunter. Ivar, was it? Ivar, yeah. He's a good fella. Who is he? He's the dragon's voice. The Silver Dragon tells him things, then Ivar tells us. Like when the dragon chased the wolves from our land. He told Ivar, and Ivar told us. And when he scared the monsters away so they wouldn't attack us, He told Ivar that, too. We get all kinds of good news from Ivar. Okay. Alright, sure, enough is enough. Do you have any idea who I am? I'm your Baron. That's great, I think. You know what, you should talk to Ivar first. He can ask the Silver Dragon's opinion on the greatness of that. Ivar's an important person here, and the dragon is even more important. What if he doesn't want some strange baron baroning around here? That is an excellent point. I will go do that. I will go far away from you, and I will do that. Okay, I'm gonna need a moment to process all that, so this seems like as good a stopping point as any. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we will pick things up here next time, as we explore the wilderness around Silver Lake Village, and hopefully meet up with this Ivar fellow. I hear good things. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Discord server, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, the fan-run wikis, or the original crowdfunding campaign over on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.